phrase I use is my goal is to turn all those blue shirts into human search engines, where all of you are kind of becoming that. And I think, talk about an information revolution. It's like we've spent the last 40 years just getting all the wires to talk to each other. I mean, how long do your Windows computers take to boot up? 7 or 8 minutes? iPad boots in 10 seconds. You haven't lived with a real computer yet. How many people do not have a smartphone or a phone that you can put apps on it? So there's still a fair number of people who've never experienced that. But that the cost is going to be plummeting. So the good news is that the phone and the tablets become whatever application you're using. A phone, a voice call is just an application on a mobile device now. My kids don't even use voice anymore. They don't even use voice when I'm standing next to them. But that's okay. We're still communicating, just in different ways. So I talked about the tablet, but what else are we going to be able to do with this tablet? The idea is, see, these devices know where they are. And if you know where you are, well, it can overlay information and tell you, are any of your friends around here? Has anything ever interesting happened here? I'm in Baxter, Minnesota. Now, unless I have my own radio station, how do I send the message out to all my friends? That's what's great about Twitter. Before I walked in here, I said, I'm in Baxter, Minnesota. And I'm sure by the time I get back to my car, a few people will say, oh, look this up, or do this, or eat here. And this is going to make people more exploratory. With GPS, we're much more adventurous. Let's throw caution to the wind, honey, and drive off the side of the road. You know, let's explore. You know, it changes how people do that. It's like they're going to travel more. But also, what things like GPS does is it creates a sense of place. It helps people discover new things, and this is good for people who care about their place, your home. Because increasingly, a lot of people think Walmart is going to be the death of the mom and pop. Number one, when you're a geek, you got to remember, every day I wake up and some part of my life is in need of an upgrade. So they say some people resist change. Geeks don't have the luxury of resisting change. And in a way, that causes us to be pretty open-minded. And then we're always hearing about the death of something. Oh, when the CD-ROM came out, it was the death of the book. Now, there are more bookstores and books than I've ever seen before. And then the DVD came out. It's the death of the movie theater. No one's ever going to leave their home. And yet, what has happened is the movie theaters have to keep up. They have more comfy seats now. They recline. They're getting 12 or 13 bucks out of it, but it's either IMAX or 3D, really great sound, better food. Like they actually pop the popcorn the same day now. And I think they talk about this millennial generation being picky little bastards. Oh, these kids want recognition. Oh, these kids want a customized work environment. Who doesn't? What makes these kids any different than us? I want what the millennials want. And I think we always have. And you know what? These kids also want to know, where does my food come from? Is it sustainably grown? Do you pollute the environment? That BP oil spill, all those young kids out there, you know, they're evaluating, they're watching. And in a good way, I think they're going to make some good choices. But they also, this benefits rural communities, I believe, because when you can have any experience you want, you get pretty picky. And then you seek new experiences. And I don't always want the same thing everybody has. I'm not going to go to the Mall of America. What else is out there? And these kids, increasingly, they want a sense of purpose. What social problem is my company solving? What's the quality of my life? Where do I want to raise my kids? And these kids who know nothing but an edit button on the world. My kid's favorite channel is YouTube. They don't passively sit in front of the TV anymore. That's boring to them. That's what we did. And now, they want to change the world. They want to write code. Who's their inspirational CEO? Steve Jobs is the most admired. And how lucky are we to be alive to have the nearest living thing to Willy Wonka? If you ever want to step inside my head and know, where did the brand for Geek Squad come from? 1971, a movie about CEO succession. A movie about corporate culture, hiring really specialized talent, protecting the design and intellectual property you have, differentiating yourself from your competition. The movie's about being ethical. Will he sell the everlasting gobstopper for a profit? Great messages. Only now, your kids and grandkids are growing up in a world where their model for a CEO is either Steve Jobs, who really doesn't care about money. He pays himself $1 a year in salary. Their stock price was practically nothing when he came in, 13 years ago. I couldn't imagine a better role model for young people. And then, who's their other role model? A 26-year-old youngest billionaire. I went and saw The Social Network. I recommend you go see it. It's a great American story of success. Yeah, he was a bit of an asshole. But most of the movie about that's not necessarily true. Even they say that they took liberties with it. But everybody expected the movie to be really negative because it wasn't going to be true. You know what? Still a great movie. And at the core, the message my kids got from that movie is, wow, he worked really hard. He didn't leave his dorm room. And, he got rewarded for it. I think those are great messages, that the American dream is alive and well, and if you work hard, you can get there. And frankly, not only did he do well, but those twins that complained from Harvard, they ended up with $65 million. You're welcome.